Welcome to the Weather Extreme video for Saturday, March the 6th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and thanks so much for tuning in. Let's take a look at our Skycam network this morning. There's a look from our Skycam at Clanton and a beautiful sunrise. How about a very placid river down at Demopolis as we get a great reflection of the lights in the river as we look off to the west. And then one of my favorite spots, we can still see the lights off in the west as we look out from the highest point in Alabama, Mount Cheaha. On our surface map this morning, high pressure centered over the southern part of Lake Michigan is making its influence felt across nearly all of the eastern half of the country. And all of that is in response to a fairly substantial ridge, which is kind of a nice pattern to see since we've been under pretty much a trough over the eastern half of the country for months, it seems like. But that doesn't mean that temperatures have warmed up a whole lot yet. We're still pretty chilly over the eastern half of the country. As you can see, the freezing line still dipping all the way down to North Florida. But that's going to be changing over the next several days as we're going to get back to temperatures much more typical of this time of year. As a matter of fact, maybe even a little above. Morning lows this morning, or most of the lows, pretty much in the 20s as we have one more chilly morning here. And notice that it's in the lower 40s up there in the lower 20s, excuse me, in the northeastern part of the state. The watch warning map looking a lot nicer with not so many, but we still have a few up there in the Dakotas and part of Minnesota and a little bit of Iowa and Nebraska. But for the most part, we're pretty free of any watches and warnings. On the QPF for the country, it looks like we're going to have pretty much an upcoming wet week going on with the current weather system that's giving some precipitation to the central part of the country, and then a new one that's going to give us some rain as we head toward about the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. All right, let's get to the 06Z GFS model run, and here is our 500 millibar pattern for tomorrow, Sunday at midday, and the ridge is holding tough and good because that's keeping things to our north. So that should once again allow for a beautiful day after today with lots of sunshine today as we get into the near the 60-degree mark and then into the mid-60s for tomorrow as the high settles in over about Mobile. That's going to be great. The high stays in our area, keeping the next weather system off to the west as moisture begins to come up through Texas and Oklahoma. And so once again, Monday looks like it'll probably be a pretty good day, although we may see some clouds by the latter part of the day. By Tuesday, a trough is coming out, but the ridge is still holding up a little bit, but not quite as strong. So that means that by Tuesday, I think we'll see some rain coming our way. And then by Wednesday, the trough position over the central part of the country becomes a little more established with the second trough kind of catching up, and that means kind of a complicated pattern with the possibility that we may actually see a cluster or an MCS indicated by that bullseye of precipitation over the southern part of Alabama. So we'll be watching for that. So the possibility at midweek that we might see some significant rains. The trough becomes a little more established over the central part of the country by Thursday. And what that means for us is that probably the rain will be ending as it kind of moves off to the east just a little bit. But with the trough position established, as you can see that on Friday, that means we will be getting colder. After about Thursday. Friday will chill down just a little bit, but by Saturday you can see that the closed low positioned over the mid-Atlantic states is allowing for a good northerly and northwesterly flow in our area. So that means as we take a look at the surface map here for Saturday, a week from today, that it should be chilling us back down. And this also suggests the possibility that there may be a little moisture with it and the possibility of some snow flurries for Tennessee and perhaps even northern Alabama. But we're verging out onto voodoo country out there. Speaking of voodoo, how about around the 14th? And once again, we still got the trough closed low over New England and the mid-Atlantic states, and that once again producing a nice, looks like another nice snowstorm for them up that direction. Then as we get way out into voodoo country, we see that We've got another ridge by the 17th, and that keeps us pretty much high and dry, but a new storm system coming our way just to the west. And then finally, at the end of the period, around 372 hours of the 21st, which is, by the way, a day after the start of spring, we see another fairly high amplitude trough over the central part of the country, and that means some more cold weather, it looks like, for the central plains coming down into Texas and the mid-Mississippi River Valley. So it looks like the cold weather is not over just yet. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to the Weather Extreme video. Expect to have the next one posted by 8 o'clock or perhaps a little bit earlier on Sunday morning. In the meantime, I hope that you have a great Saturday and Godspeed.
Each day there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.